Welcome everybody back to another episode of the VeChain has NFTs podcast. Today we have a repeat offender, Virtual Flame from Virtual Flame Studios down with the Block Bones PFP, and we
Hey.
have a newcomer to the channel, but definitely not a newcomer to the NFT space. Lucio, Crypto Lucio, been around for quite some time. How are you guys doing today? Flame, kick it off. What's up?
Man, I'm happy to be here, Boomer. Excited to talk about NFTs, VeChain, and real stoked to just kind of improve my podcast skills. So I appreciate letting me come back, man.
Absolutely. We're all improving all the time. To hear my name Boomer in Web3 is so weird because it's like, real life. Here I'm Boomer, online, Web3, I'm Tricky Boom. I mean, I'll answer to Susan, though, if that's what you want to call me, so it doesn't really matter to me. Lucio, how are you today, my friend?
Hey man, thank you for having me here, and doing wonderful, man. It's a good Saturday morning. Looking forward to having a chat.
Heck yeah. So today, our topic of conversation is going to be, you guessed it, NFTs. But we're going to dive into real world applications for NFTs. We are seeing a change in the landscape of NFTs, I feel, over the last, few months, at least on VeChain. The art is cool, the PFPs are cool, but I think for a project to do well and succeed long term, we're having to add a lot more utility. That might be in real life utility, that might be more profit sharing, whatever. Flame can talk extensively on this with their what they're doing with Block Bones right now. Lucio can talk extensively about it as well. But I just want to ask real quick, what do you guys think about the landscape right now of NFTs on VeChain versus what it was, say, 6, 8, 9 months ago?
I'll let Flame go first.
Well, I will take it. Landscape, I'd say we're making more noise outside of our own chain. I'd say a big difference is that we got a lot of our big cringe alert influencers going out to other spaces. You got Cardano, you got Algo, you got HBAR, all these different blockchains, and one's a hashgraph, haha, are hearing about VeChain a lot more. So six to 9 months ago, I'd say nobody knew VeChain had NFTs, which is why we have the VeChain has NFTs tag. And now, 9 months from then, every space I join, and they're like, "Oh, there's Flame. He does VeChain. Yeah, I've heard about VeChain. You guys make a bunch of noise and stuff like that." So I'd say we have been heard. We have made a lot of noise. I'll kick it over to Luce.
Good points, Flame. My point of view for the landscape currently right now, I just see our community as VeChain and in the NFT as a maturing, growing individual, right? Overall, I think from anything from collectors to moderators to project leaders, they're all growing and learning, maturing over time. So I see great potential. And as Flame mentioned, right, we're making a lot of noise. And from my point of view, I think our VeChain family is very united, yet in sections of power, right? Different projects, and able to influence different other communities and make us look powerful.
We're definitely getting more powerful by the day, with for example, the UFC partnership with VeChain, and how that is playing a role in the NFT scene. We're seeing more partnerships. We're seeing some fighters buying some like Mad V Apes, for example, and there's been some other outreach for other sporting, tennis and some other stuff. It's been really cool to see. But what is there in NFTs beyond just a picture? I mean, Lucio, take it away on that. Give us a rundown on what can they do? What are they used for?
Oh man, there's a quite a bit of range of NFTs that are currently being used for, and I think there's also a lot of potential, right? Currently, I'll kind of shoot off with what we're currently using them in is as art figures or a part of an art JPEG, right? That's uploaded to the blockchain secure. But to me, as NFTs they've become a sort of initiation or a token that gives you access to a group of people. And, those access tokens and those group of people over time will become less limited. And that's how that group becomes more popular and more people are trying to join that group. Drives the value of NFTs up and the initial entry into that group or community of people that you want to join. Ultimately, that community of people has to have a type of aura or attraction that people want to join that group, and they can participate easily and they can be heard. And I think the NFT projects that have done this seamlessly are going to be more successful over time. So that's currently what I think are being used. There's another big current situation going on, and these are pops. I think we experienced pops at the Hive event, VeChain, that happened in Las Vegas about 2 weeks ago. We received 2 pops while in Las Vegas. One was the Hive event pop, which is a proof of participation for attending the conference. And that conference was held in Las Vegas, and everybody's seen it. The artwork was proof that we were there, and the artwork was completed by Vechain, which is one of the artists, and now we all have it. The second pop that we received while at the Hive was an MVA pop, Mad V Apes. And that's an NFT project on VeChain. And we did get one of their pops for attending their booth at the Hive event. And both of those tell a story that is now in our wallet. And that's what I want to make, my point.
Proof of participation.
Clip that. We got to clip that. That's right there is what pops are all about, Lucio. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Being a part of this new revolution and having it tracked on the blockchain in your wallet, unique, that holds a certain amount of value, intrinsic value, sentimental value. I mean, that's a good thing to hold, I would think.
Yes, and I don't think there's much of a value that can be put on that. As and for instance, for me, this is kind of like a picture that I take with the president of the United States that's going to be in my wallet or per se on my wall that I'm proud of, right? And this is also this pop going to be something that's in my wallet that I can be proud of 10 or 15 years from now. I was at this Hive event in Las Vegas. I made connections and I made some long-lasting friendships.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Bring a tear to my eye talking about the friendships that are building here. Flame, what do you got to say about that?
Dude, I think the pops are a genius idea, and the value is, I mean, like, if you can put yourself 10 to 15 years in the future and look back at this time right now, those pops are incredible. So I think that, proof of participation is a huge thing. And the fact that they're putting that in to digital and phygital forms, I think that this whole thing's just going to evolve even more. There's kind of a hashtag that goes around the NFT community, tokenize everything. And I really do think that there's viable reasoning for that. So, those events and stuff like that, yeah, you can take pictures. Yeah, you might get Sonny Lou's autograph, but having a digital asset, proof, ownership of proof of participation and presence, that's next level shit that you're not seeing on any blockchain, and VeChain is absolutely knocking it out of the park on that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a good point a good topic that we can run into there is the whole digital revolution. So, I mean, the for anybody listening that doesn't know, digital is a physical item with a digital footprint, if you will, a digital token NFT, um, which shows proof of ownership, validation of authenticity, and we're going to start seeing that more and more in the future because I mean a lot of collectibles that we buy in real life um, come with a certificate of authenticity, and if you don't have that certificate of authenticity, I think a good reference for this would be anybody that watches Pawn Stars. Somebody brings something in, a trinket, a collectible from some era in the world, and the Pawn Stars in Vegas, they will call in their friends to, experts to authenticate, to verify whether, whatever was brought to the table is real, is valid, what its value is based on everything. Well, with a digital, you can do that yourself. You can, okay, I'm gonna go buy this Gucci purse handbag for my wife, secondhand, whatever. Well, if the person that's selling it can show you proof that it is real, proof of where it came from, history of who made it, who initially sold it, and everything. I mean, that holds a pretty big value, and I think that's kind of where we're headed. Flame, what do you think? Well, no, we'll go to Lucio with that little something or other that he's got in his paws right there. What do you got there?
All right, friends. This is actually the VeChain trackable device that is being placed on products. It is being placed on t-shirts, clothing, Louis Vuitton bags, and various other items. Currently, I have an example of where it's being placed on. Ta-da! And it is a wearable VeChain t-shirt. This trackable device is located right on the t-shirt. This gets in here, and then you scan it, and we're able to find out details of this shirt, where it's made, the type of clothing, etc., etc. Possibilities are endless. And for comparison, I do have one quarter, one US quarter, next to the digital device, which is significantly smaller than the item. And that's the technology that VeChain is working on, advancing, and currently working on partnerships with various industries in the world,
So,
according to my contacts.
what do you scan that with? Because it didn't look like it had a QR code on the shirt. The chip doesn't have, a barcode, a QR code, or anything. How do you scan that?
Yes, sir. Exactly, and great question. And I do have an answer for that. There is an app that you can go to. Not sure if you can see it in the lights. But what it is an app on Google Play or Apple Store, and it's VeChain Pro, and it's a technology scanner which scans it, and it brings up all the information to you. But it is an app that you can download.
Interesting. And so, say they mass produce 10,000 of those shirts, they would all get tagged with that exact same information at that point in time, like for that say lot number or however they do it.
Correct. Each lot, each shirt that's going to be distributed to the individuals will have that device on it.
Amazing. That's absolutely pretty crazy that that's the future. That's where we're headed, and it's helpful and beneficial to everything. Flame, what do you think about that? What other products and services, outside of clothing and handbags and stuff. Where do you see that technology going?
I want to go there, but let me put some building blocks on Lucio real quick. Um, just a quick history lesson. Sonny Liu was the previous CTO of Louis Vuitton, and he recognized an extreme problem, a growing problem with counterfeit goods and merchandise, especially luxury and high end stuff. Right? The counterfeiters are so good at this point that they can make a counterfeit Louis V bag and then sell it to a Louis V store. Like there's no way you can even really tell, which is where VeChain and that technology really steps up to the plate. And just a fun little figure here, a number so big we can't even really fathom it. Um, Criminals rake in around 200 to 300 billion dollars per year in counterfeit goods worldwide. That's 100 times bigger than VeChain's market cap, right? There's so much counterfeit. It's projected that counterfeiting goods and products will exceed 3 trillion in the coming years. So we're going from, I mean, it's an exponential growth of counterfeit goods, and VeChain's solution to that is insane. And just from the clothing level, I just want to stick on the clothing for 1 second. There's a company called StockX. It's like an e-commerce company, and they do resales of like, what I've seen it used for is like shoes. I have a couple of buddies who are like sneakerheads. They collect Air Jordans. They use StockX to go on there because it's a pretty verifiable site. They check their stuff. But as I had mentioned, there's some counterfeit goods that are so good, even a quote unquote professional would pass them with flying colors. So StockX is an e-commerce company, and its gross merchandise value, the amount of merchandise they have listed on their website, is approaching 4 billion. It's about 3.8 billion in GVM, and their revenue for 2021 alone was 600 million. So we've got companies. This is just an example of one aftermarket company for a very niche group, right? There's all types of sites like this. The value that is in aftermarket clothing and apparel is insane. There's hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars that swashes through these trends, fads, styles, fashion. All that stuff is absolutely huge. Whether we're old guys that wear the same t-shirts every day and kind of look like cartoon characters, most of the kids out there are getting fly and drippy, and we need to be aware of that. I think VeChain is. So the building block I wanted to put on there was that these POPs, proof of participation, or just RFID chips in which you can track, trace, and verify where a product is from, who's owned a product, what properties that product has, all those things clumped into the VeChain's technology. I think that there is such an amazing opportunity, and it's going to happen for VeChain to step up into this category of things. Like, hey, NFTs are bigger than just a bunch of crypto bros gathering in a Discord, which is where we come from, and that's our roots. But 5-10 years from now, we're going to see a whole new type of NFT holder, the type that's never on a Twitter space, the type that's never in a Discord, the type that's posting that VeChain, quit it, Lucio, the type that's posting that VeChain information on their eBay listing. Hey, here's my eBay listing. It's a Michael Jordan shirt. Here's the VeChain verification tag. You can cross-reference to make sure. So I think that with clothing and merchandise, VeChain's traceability, trackability tech is going to be absolutely insane in the coming years. I think it's something we don't talk about enough.
So it is. This isn't just a fad or a gadget that is going to fizzle away, that people like to play around with or anything. This is actually a necessity for the times that we're in right now. I would venture to say.
Oh yeah.
So, you gonna say something, Lucio?
Yeah, I mean, I think Flame had a lot of great points, right? There's multiple layers to the situation that's going on, and I think there's two situations that need to be identified and kind of addressed. One is the counterfeiters, right? And how do you address that? Chips can be one start, but it's also to the consumers, right? The consumers' education and the abilities to not want to purchase the counterfeits. I've actually been in kind of communities, if I may say. For instance, working in a big organization, I was exposed to a lot of people in communities, sub-communities within these big organizations. And there's a group of people that will actually tell you, I don't care if I'm buying a counterfeit. I just want to be part of holding a Louis Vuitton bag, holding a Gucci bag, and I don't care if it's fake or not. I will pay almost top dollar for it, but at least I'm going to say that I have a Louis Vuitton. So I think as we are growing with the technology, we're also going to have a little bit of change of perspective for the consumer. So I think this comes with a long time of waiting out and just continue educating and providing the information for the consumer to be more aware.
So how can this be used in a more industrial application, you know, not so much just for consumers, you know, the end user of a certain good or product? What other aspects can this be used in?
I mean, let's talk about like racing and stuff. You know, like dirt bikes and automotive parts, and any type of inspection, anything like that. Like if you look at a lot of inspection charts, you'll see that they're writing it with a dry erase board marker on an expo board every day. Like 9/11, John checked the oil. 10/11, John checked the oil. 11:30, Mark cleaned the bathroom. All these things in real world can be, I don't really want to say tokenized in the sense where you're showing off your verification that you cleaned the bathroom at 11:30 or whatever you're doing at your job. But I think that kind of creating a traceable, trackable connection there to say, hey, this has been inspected before it arrived here. Hey, we're going to inspect this part, this transmission block, and then we're going to ship it out to Ford so that they can put it in their cars. But we make the blocks at this random factory in Georgia or something. Well, instead of having just like a piece of paper where Mary Ann from QC, quality control, checked it and sent it off, you can have a traceable, trackable event on the blockchain where, sorry, I'm struggling a little bit of weed. Traceable, trackable event on the blockchain where you can prove and verify that something has occurred. And I don't know if that falls into NFT, really. Maybe companies could leverage an NFT in some way for that, but I mean, it's still right up that VeChain pipeline. The reason that we all originally got into VeChain, that enterprise adoption, that industry integration, I think that's exactly what we're looking at. And the POP, the POPs are a great example of that.
Well, yeah, I think it probably wouldn't have to be an NFT as we know it, but it could be something like, you know, whoever's assembling the mufflers or whatever in shipping them out to Ford. Once they get 100 assembled, they take their phone or tablet, whatever, they scan the code that is given to them that's right on the wall so they can't forget, right next to their assembly line. They punch in, hey, I did this, I made X amount of these, and it seals those all together in you call it an NFT, whatever you want to call it, but it's stamped, time stamped on the blockchain. It's got a digital signature by I don't remember what you called her, Clara, or whatever her name is that did it. And that's easy information for the tech guy at the company to pull when, hey, we're having a problem with lot number XYZ, who did it, when, where, why, how. It's all right there on the blockchain, and anybody can see that too. It's not just in one person's database, which is I think it brings a lot more honesty, and you kind of don't really have a choice but to be more honest when it's all open information like that.
I do have a scenario, man, that I would like to share that I think is going to be very utilized in the future. The industry of hand making products, right? You make hand making products and you're actually trying to distribute. It's almost handmade products as like high end products, right? And I'm going to use the example of furniture. If anybody ever bought furniture, we know furniture from a fabricated company has very I say less quality, lower quality products, right? And those products cost less money. But if you want a well-built table, a well-built dining table, and you want somebody that's physically going to make it out of wood in Alaska, red cider or whatever that might be, and you want that table, that artist that's creating that tablet is going to be able to apply something similar to this, let you know where he cut, when he cut, how he curated that wood, how he made it, when he made it, and give you that information. And I think this is one of the industries that's going to benefit from this type of technology. But handmade goods.
That's a really good point, and I'll actually show some examples right on that topic here. Is I build furniture. I built my nightstands. I built my bed. Built the shelf up there, and that's a really good point. That I could put a chip in there, and that could hold, pictures of me building it along the way, people seeing methods of how it was built, so that's a really good point. And that could go, I mean, any corner of the world is going to be able to utilize this technology. Whether they're ready for it or not is another thing, but we're going to come to a point where, I mean, people want it. People are going to want it. People are going to need it.
And let me just say, like, Lucio and Boomer, I feel like I shouldn't even be part of this conversation because of the points you guys are making right now. This is insane. This is like top tier. My mind is even blown sitting on the panel with you guys. Like, holy shit, attach a couple of pictures of you building it, and like, holy cow, man. The implications are actually insane. Great points.
Thank you, sir. And I mean, this industry, I think, is just going to take off, right? There's so many things. I'm going to even step back, right? And I'm going to talk about different ideas that I come up with. If y'all ever remember and y'all watched the movie, and it's the Traveling Pants movie, right? Who remembers that? A movie about traveling pants, the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. Yeah. If I remember right? The sister, they passed these pants. So imagine if these sisters had these pants that had a trackable device, and they were letting themselves borrow this pant. Now they can track it, and hopefully with time, this will have advancements in technology, or more, where each person gets it. They can record them having it, how long they had it, where did that item live at or travel to, and then once they mail it to somebody else, that person gets it, checks in, and then now they own it, and they have a traceability of this item that has been shared through friends or shared through communities, right? For instance, championship trophy. NBA can have trackable chips. Who's owned it? Who's did it? Is on the blockchain. Where it went? Where did it travel? Was it at the Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fame? Did it travel to Arena, Crypto.com Arena? Where was that trophy at what point of time and frame? And that's all going to be recorded on the blockchain, and people can see live. Example.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that's really great points there. Both you guys made. We can also use these in because those are more long-term, permanent solutions. There's also short-term that you'll hear, like Brad has mentioned it a number of times. One way that NFTs could be utilized in the real world is like hotel bookings. You're planning on going to Vegas next year at whatever dates. You book your hotel stay. You get that via NFT, proof of ownership of this certain time slot in this hotel room belongs to you. Whether you use it or not is up to you, but there can be a marketplace for these. So somebody you buy that, you book that time slot. Well, you can't make it. Well, you go to the Holiday Inn NFT website marketplace, and you can list your NFT, your stay on an NFT, and whoever buys that has instant ownership of that time slot at that hotel for that those days. And I think we're going to see that that application used, for stuff like that. Concert tickets, different venues, sporting events. We'll be able to see, hey, if the first 100 people that buy their tickets to Snoop Dogg as an NFT get, they're going to get a phygital item. They're going to have, backstage access and whatever else. Plus, they're going to have a very unique, Snoop Dogg NFT or something like that. That's just another application that can be used, and it makes more sense than going to Ticketmaster. It makes more sense to, for the end consumer, because we can eliminate the middleman on a lot of this stuff by using blockchain technology and NFTs. And I think that's something that that people will really like. Right now, there's a lot of skeptics on the crypto and NFT, but that's because they see false information, mainstream information and everything, and a lot of people don't really know what the capabilities are of blockchain.
Man, I think, guys, this is endless possibilities, right? I'm going to say another real world use. And I've been kind of looking or watching Amazon and what their stance is and how they're approaching the NFT project. Sometimes it feels like they're in, they're out, they're in and out. But ultimately, as I see it, and I step back a little bit, right, and I'm thinking a big picture and how this can be utilized. I'm going to talk about whitelist, right? How are we currently identifying how and who to give whitelist to? I see it on different blockchains, Solana, Cardano, VeChain, right? And I see the different utilizations and how they send these whitelist out. I think over time, if you take Amazon, right, and Amazon is going to start giving you a NFT or a pop for buying certain items. And let's say, for instance, over your purchase in history, you have so many pops in your wallet because you purchased so many items. And let's say there's criteria in each pop, and each pop says, I bought something for a cat, I bought something for a dog, I bought something for a tiger, I bought a sitting tiger, I bought a colorful tiger, I bought a black tiger, white tiger. And that keeps tabs, right? And when project owners, let's say, you mentioned Snoop Dogg says, man, I want to launch an NFT project that is tiger spirited and it's going to have tigers, everything. How do you start building a community? Well, you start popping up who has the pops that love tigers, right? And that's one. There's 500 people that have 30 tigers in their collection. Well, guess what? They're probably going to like art form from a tiger and that philosophy of tiger pride, tiger community. We're all tigers. These people are going to probably buy your tiger NFT and keep them longer. And I think companies or projects, businesses are going to start utilizing this information to distribute whitelist, provide this information to people. And as you can see, if they're collecting NFTs on Amazon, they're probably going to like the NFT from a project or a business that's going to be launching in the future. Just one example from my own.
That's interesting. That's an interesting take. You can pull all that information on the tigers and or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
And get your target market just by doing that, and once again utilizing this technology. So
yes, sir.
Here's my question right now, Flame. Maybe because you're pretty heavily involved in a number of different blockchains. How should I put this? Which blockchain wins, or is there a winner? So VeChain's offering this unique technology. Well, Amazon might use Ethereum, where some event venue, obviously UFC is a good example, going to use VeChain. Some places going to use Cardano. How's that going to impact the end user as far as, okay, well, I need keys for this wallet, I need keys for that wallet on that blockchain. What direction am I going to go, and how am I going to decide whether I want to do this based on the blockchain that's being utilized?
Man, that's a big question, right? Because you're asking how is the average person going to operate within these multiple blockchains with multiple partnerships, right? Like VeChain might have a partnership with Amazon, but Cardano might have a partnership with Sam's Club. And you love Amazon and you love Sam's Club, so now you have to use both wallets to maximize those rewards or whatever. I don't think I have very much like insight into what will happen as far as interoperability goes. I know that a lot of blockchain companies and foundations are looking at interoperability solutions like Cosmos. For Cardano, there's one called Milkomeda. For us, we're a fork of Ethereum, so it's going to be relatively easy for us to uh, either integrate or kind of wiggle our way into situations from a VeChain standpoint. From a Cardano standpoint, it's a lot bigger of an obstacle. So I think VeChain is going to be sitting really pretty. As we were talking, I looked at the market cap of VeChain, $1.69 billion market cap, $2 billion fully diluted. Almost all of their total supply has been distributed. I think there might be 10 billion of the 85 billion that needs to get distributed. I think VeChain has done everything right. I think that VeChain's main focus has been survive. I don't think by any means they've been trying to be flashy. I don't think that I think the UFC partnership was a lot more strategic than it was for like flash or attention. And I think we're going to continue to see VeChain, thrive and flourish across all of Web3. I think that they're making the right connections. I think that it's easy to use. From a VeChain standpoint, I can't speak from anything else because people, everyone has their own opinion. I don't think Ethereum is the move. That's why I'm in altcoins. I've looked at Ethereum. I think that there's certain fundamental issues that are going to prevent Ethereum from being the top dog, or at least the only top dog, right? So we take a look at Solana. Although I have read the white paper, all I need to know about your chain is that it shuts down, and I'm good. I'm like absolutely 100% out. So whenever I'm very critical about blockchains and companies because it's a cutthroat. I'm from America, man. I know about capitalism. It's a cutthroat industry. The best of the best are going to survive. Not everybody's going to get candy and flowers at the end of this. So it's important to do your own research. It's important to find the fundamental flaw of each blockchain, and if you're willing to roll the dice on that. So VeChain for me feels like it's an easy win every single time, and it has been the whole time holding it. Price action's a little different because we've been through a bear market. As far as hitting those milestones, coming out with the 2022, 2023 roadmap, for the past 4 years they've said growth phase was going to happen in 2022, and boy, oh boy, did we see growth phase happen in 2022. The Hive, Pops, VFam, VeChainThor's Day, the community going crazy, NFTs, VeChain, not to mention all the stuff Eisenreich tweets about. VeChain is the way. So I've done my research. I know VeChain's a winner. I'm enjoying my time as an NFT collector around people who have made the same great decisions as me. And that's where we find all of our camaraderie. And I can't speak to other chains, man. If you're a fan of another chain, you have your reasons, and we have, everybody has their reasons. So I'm a big fan of VeChain. I'm a big fan of Cardano. Big fan of Bitcoin. Big fan of being your own bank and taking out these third-party intermediaries that are just absolutely ruining the economy. Let's take down the establishment and redo it all, man. Financial reset's coming.
Take her down one block at a time, boys. It seems like these, the top performing chains, when we do get into that different, different big companies using different big blockchains, it seems there will end up being some seamless, unseen bridges that the end user doesn't even necessarily know that they're using to, because this technology is rapidly evolving. So if Amazon uses Cardano, you use VeChain, seems to me that there's going to have to be some kind of a internal bridge that that they're going to have to implement to get to everybody that's that they want to be their consumer. Is that a possibility?
Can you rephrase that question real fast or summarize it?
Just a bridge that you don't know you're using. So you want to go buy something on Amazon. They use Cardano. They use the Cardano blockchain. You use VeChain. You're gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy, this good with my VeChain." They're gonna do all the internal stuff to transfer your VeChain to their Cardano blockchain and make it as seamless as possible while utilizing the technology for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be part of, they're going to have to figure out a way how to incorporate that into the system, right? For a larger amount of people to accept this technology as a safe technology. I don't think people are really prepared or wanting to control their keys or their ultimate, not being ultimately responsible for their total financial responsibility. They want somebody else to help. And I think that's been taught or influenced into our culture. You have to have help. This is too tricky, too complicated.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think one example of where we're a starting point where we're going to start seeing this, if you look at a NFT project on Algorand, and VeChain hasn't launched theirs yet. Kiwi's still working on that part, but it's NFD, and it is a naming service, right? That we all have, and like I have Lucio.algo. But if you start looking, I took a real screenshot, right? It's incorporating just pretty much all the blockchains on there. And if you could or couldn't see on there, I have my addresses on here are ADA, my Ethereum, my Solano, my VeChain, and my Tesla's wallet are all incorporated into my Algorand wallet as well. And these are in one section. I think ultimately, overall, this is just one example of how there's going to be one app that connects you to a lot of different blockchains. And ultimately, over time, you'll be able to send Lucio.algo. You're going to be able to send me any of those cryptocurrencies, and it will convert it or change it to what I need or put it in the wallet that it needs to go to. One example of how it's being utilized right now.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to make it as simple as possible for mass adoption. Because like you said, a lot of people don't want to control their own keys. The way we see it, we're neck deep in this technology. We realize that we need to own our own assets. As much as we possibly can. We need that true ownership because it's important. Like Flame was saying, it's going to be a total overhaul of the financial system, and it's inevitable, really.
Yes, sir.
We just about out of time here, but any final thoughts, words for the viewers? Flame, you got anything you want to leave the people with?
I really appreciate you throwing the podcast up and bringing different VFam members on here. If any VFam members are interested in coming on the podcast and maybe they have some thoughts they want to share, reach out to me or Tricky and we'll get you in that group chat and let you come on the podcast. It's definitely a VFam friendly thing. There's no pressure. We're just having fun. I love VeChain, super, super hard. So tune into the Flame Space every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about different projects. And if you hold Cardano, delegate to VFS Stake Pool. We're on the road to 1 million ADA. We're super close, and every little bit helps. So thank you, Boomer. Thanks, Lucio, for chatting with us. And we'll see you next time.
Lucio, parting words?
Just piggyback off of Flame, and yeah, I love this community. It's been welcoming. It's been a ride. It's been emotional. But I've grown to love every single person and just overall what VFam means to everybody, right? It means something different to me than it does to everybody else. But I think overall we're here for one purpose, and it's just to help people. And I think that's what we're here for.
Absolutely, helping people and maybe make a little money in the long term, but none of us are making that right now, and it's all good. So thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for everybody that tuned in and listened. And like Flame said, reach out if you want to come on here. We the people. Later, guys.